Sometimes I wish my husband would just give up on his dreams. Real posts, real problems, real people. It's tea time, so grab your favorite cup of tea or whatever it is you like to drink and let's spill the tea and clean it up. Let's go. All right. What's up, y'all? I'm Tanya, one half of TNL.J Visions, relationship coaches, along with my husband Lamont. We love this marriage thing. We love to help others create healthy, happier marriages. And so, with that said, I have a poster here saying sometimes she just wish her husband would give up on his dreams. And I definitely have an opinion on this topic. We've been actually talking about expectations all week. So make sure you check out some of our Vision of Love podcast videos here on YouTube or wherever you're seeing this. We like to post them sporadically everywhere. And if you're a new subscriber, thank you so much for subscribing. Feel free to share, comment, give some advice because there's people here on the social media world, real people who have real problems, who need real help and real advice. And there's so much negative advice going on around here that they don't have to look for that. They're already getting it. So positive advice would be great. And to share will help get this positive advice out. So let's hop on in. I won't hold you no longer. So again, sometimes I wish my husband would give up his dreams. So I've been married to my husband for 7 years now. As long as we've been together, he's had the ambitions of being a writer and lecturer. When we met at 24, he was doing an MA in creative writing and supporting himself with two hospitality jobs at the same time. I expected that after he graduated, he would switch to a 9 to 5, but stayed working in hospitality, which he has been doing ever since. For years, I fully supported it, and it meant he had plenty of time to work on his writing. It meant a lot of compromise on my part. He would work most weekends, and his low pay meant giving up the idea of going on weekend breaks or to nice restaurants and anything remotely lavish, unless I was willing to fit the bill entirely myself. In the meantime, aside of attending a few workshops and sadly being unable to secure PhD funding, he hasn't gotten anywhere with his writing career yet. What you guys drinking out there? Make sure you put that in the comment. I got water today. My coach said water. Okay, but let me get back in here. All right. So this week we found that the coffee shop he manages is closing down. So he'll soon only have a few hours worth of temp shifts at another shop. I've been losing sleep because there's no way we can survive on my average salary alone. I feel awful, but I've been feeling so resentful lately that he's never tried to do more. Sure, he doesn't want to do the desk job forever, but I wish he'd try to get a stable, better paid job rather than constantly having to hustle to pay bills, just so he has more time to focus on his literary career that has no guarantee of going anywhere. And the thing is, he could write around work hours with any job, but he's never tried to get one, to even get one. Sometimes I feel so envious of my friends who are married to accountants and lawyers and programmers, partners who can provide for them and spoil them every now and then. I want more than anything for him to be happy and successful, but sometimes I wish so badly he just wanted something different. Okay, so before we clean this up and hop into the comment, there's one comment, but I want to say something. Let me go back up. You said you've been feeling so resentful. All right. Sometimes you feel envious of your friends. Number one, never compare your relationship to your friends. Okay? So get that out your head. No comparison. That'll only lead to the demise of your marriage. This is about you and your partner. Another thing is, have you told him how awful you feel? You know, how you feel um, that he's not, doing it. Have you told him these things that you were telling us? Because you're being so vulnerable with us that if I feel like if your partner heard this from you, that he would push to get a better paying job, because I know he don't want you to feel envious of your friends. I know he don't want you to be, financially exhausted. So make sure you're talking to him and being vulnerable when you're talking about this. Okay. So the commenter 00508, he said he could and should be doing more. I was on the board of a literary group. Again, if he don't know that you want him to do more, then he don't know that you want him to do more. Okay? So you got to communicate that with him. All right, but in a vulnerable way, not mean and like argumentative. Just create a safe space where y'all can talk and get him a chance to respond as well. So not only play both roles, come at him with your complaint, but also actively listen when he talks to you. Okay. All right. So let's get back in it, and I'll clean it up later. All right. So the commenter says he could and should be doing more. I was on a board of literary group, and the writers had regular day jobs. One lady was a full-time cop, another was an attorney. One man was a high school teacher, another worked at a TV station. Some used their MACW to be a staff writer on a newspaper. Two taught writing in college. Some managed to get works published. The high school teacher sold a script to Amazon Prime. Working a wage hour job with fewer responsibilities and more free time to write is a romantic notion. That way lead to alcohol for someone who did that. That probably means that would lead to alcohol for someone who did that. Keeping the mind busy and focused is likely better for creativity. There's no inspiration in the work one does. I know a guy who was an FBI agent. Guess what he writes? John Grissom is a lawyer, and look at all he wrote. He woke up at 4 a.m. and dedicated 3 hours in the morning to writing. Light a fire under your husband's ASS. That's what this commenter thinks you should do. So let's really break this down, because this conflict here isn't just about dream of stability. It's about unmet expectations, financial strain, and the weight of carrying a marriage when one partner feels the other isn't pulling its share equally. The first thing is the unspoken expectation. See, often in marriage, we expect that our spouse is going to eventually grow into the kind of person that, or provider that we imagine. And that's another way of going wrong. My husband, Lamar, and I just did a podcast just yesterday, actually, on Vision of Love, on the Visions of Love channel. And we was talking about how sometimes you can have your expectations too high and the person fail, or you can have your expectations too low and your partner just doesn't, really hit goals or hit any goals because your expectations are low. You don't push them to do that. Okay, so we can't expect our partner to be the kind of provider or partner that we imagine. We got to let them be themselves, but when reality don't match the picture, then resentment tends to build up in a relationship. All right, because for one, I thought you was gonna be this person. I thought you was gonna be this provider at this time. But notice how it's all I thought this is what I wanted for you. We can't want more for our partners than what they want for themselves. Okay, so are you the dreamer or are you the practical partner? Let's discuss that, because one spouse can be deeply rooted in passion and dreams, while the other feels the urgency of stability, which I can answer that question for you. Anybody could, after me saying that your husband is the dreamer. and you are the practical partner. All right. So you need that stability, and your husband is a dreamer. He's dreaming that one day, what he like to do, what he's passionate about doing, will pay off, and he won't have to work these 9 to 5s, and he won't have to worry about the coffee shop closing, and he not having nothing but the part-time temp service. So he wants stability too, but he wanted in his time, with something he's passionate about, his own thing, something that he has control of. All right, so it's not that either person is wrong about being a dreamer or being a practical partner, but it's more in the values and the timing. Uh, the values and the timing are misaligned. Okay, so there's always got to be that alignment, that balance between the two. Marriage was designed to be a partnership where it's not about me, it's not about you, it's us. So when one partner is feeling like they're carrying the bulk of the financial load, it creates an emotional exhaustion. And it's not just about money, it's also about safety, it's about security, and it's about trust in a relationship. So I know you feel like, you can't trust your husband to help you with the financial load because he hadn't been producing the income. So you feeling like, look, I can't keep doing this and I can't trust you to do it. It hadn't happened yet. When will this happen? Okay, so there's also a thing of respect versus resentment. You can love somebody deeply and still resent the choices that they make. So I know that you say you're building up resentment, but this resentment could just be towards the choices that he's making and not really that you resent him. It's the choices that he's making. Okay, and the danger is when that unspoken resentment grows into contempt. That's when marriages start to unravel. So you definitely want to start communicating about how you feel, because communication is key here. The real issue is not about the dream at all. It's the lack of agreed on plan. See, y'all hadn't planned, or not planned, y'all hadn't agreed on the plan. You gotta, sit down and talk about it. And I like, my husband and I like this. We teach our couples um, to do this in the beginning. All right. So, what sacrifices are going to be temporary? What's the timeline? What are the boundaries? These things need to be talked about in the beginning of the relationship. I say, before you get married, set the boundaries. Talk to them, talk to this person, make sure this even somebody that you want to be with, because he might aspire to go hard until he conquers his dreams or his goals of being that writer. That might be something that he had his mind set on all his life. Okay, and if y'all talked about that in the beginning before y'all got married, then you could make a decision, a calculated decision based off of that, an informed decision based off of knowing that he wants to do this. He's a dreamer. He wants to do this, and you would know that you're gonna be the financial barrier. You're gonna bear all the finances for a little while. And I mean, it could have happened quicker, but at least you would have knew. Okay, you would have had that understanding before you got married, and you could have made a choice whether to go ahead and marry him or not. So it's very important to communicate. But now that you're married, doesn't mean don't communicate. Go ahead and create that safe space for you and your partner to sit down and talk, be real vulnerable, just like you was here with us. Talk to him about your feelings, and that may change the way he feel about this altogether. True, he's still gonna dream because that's what he want to do, but just talking to him, communicating, and being vulnerable, and also listening to him as well, will probably push him to at least get that 9 to 5, stable 9 to 5 needed to help you out and work around that with the writing. So my final thought with this is that at the end of the day, marriage ain't just about love. It's about partnership. And dreams, they beautiful, but they don't pay bills on their own. Any stability is important. Okay, stability is important, but it can't be the only focus if it kills the passion in a relationship or in a marriage. Okay, the real win is finding that balance where one partner's dream is honored and the other partner needs for security is respected. When a couple stops competing between passion and provision and instead build a shared plan, that's when the resentment turns back into respect and love finds its rhythm again. And that's the goal. Okay, so let's try to turn that resentment into respect and find that rhythm that you two had before. And it's going to start with communication. It's going to start with being vulnerable. And it's going to start with you. Okay? So this has been another tea time. If you're seeing this video and you can help, you got some advice to give the poster, please comment. Also like, share, so other people who may be going through this can see this video and also see the comments that's left. And thank you so much for tuning in this tea time. Thank you for your positivity. See you on the next one. Same time, same place. Until then, I'm going to just sip my little tea.